Good?
Yeah, I am good. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Everybody else good? Ready? All right,
Okay.
Coach.
All right.
Thank you guys for coming. Coach,
Yeah.
start the open statement. We'll get rolling.
Well, exciting opportunity this Saturday at Paulson. Exciting time for our football team. You know, all you want in life is a chance, and to have a chance, one, to be home with Eagle Nation, to have the chance to play a rival, a great rival in App State, and have the chance for postseason eligibility. That's a pretty exciting night on Saturday night. You know, we're excited to honor over 20 seniors off this football team and their last time in Paulson against a rival, with both teams fighting for a bowl spot. So makes for a pretty exciting Saturday night here in Statesboro. So with that, I look forward to answering any questions that you have.
Coach, pretty well documented how many injuries you've had, especially in the skill position. You lose top 2 running backs, 3 receivers out for the season. Got a question. As far as the offense that you're running, you've run it before. Coach Ellis has run it before. Have you noticed in the past, it seems like a lot of the plays, receivers are getting the ball and running, you know, into space. But when that space is occupied by someone, they're running into some traffic. Is it prone to be more injury laden because of that situation? And do you feel like that might attribute to some of the injuries you guys have had, or is it just dumb luck?
Well, I tell you, one of the things that you look at as far as successful with schematics, just like the other night, we really felt that we needed to do a great job in the run game when numbers were even. And, you know, I thought in that game, when you look at the run efficiency of the runners, whether it was Jalen or whether it was Amari, you look at almost 200 yards rushing versus one of the top defenses in the country. You know, we didn't put the ball out on the perimeter that much in that game. We basically ran a little bit more. But when we did, it was highly effective. You think about the touchdown by Caleb was a perimeter screen that caught man coverage and was able to hit. Also, the availability of, we had a big 3rd and 1 to Kilo to be able to have that with Darius that made an explosive play. So they are a part of this offense. You know, does it attribute to injuries? I don't think so. When you look at the injuries that have occurred, you know, Derwin was on a pass down the field where he gets rolled up on an explosive play. I think of Amari's was off a quick game pass, it was not an RPO. So I don't think the RPOs attribute to injuries. I think they are a highly effective use, have been really effective for us this year. They were the other night, but they complement a run game, and so they do go hand in hand. The other night we used the runners more than we did the perimeter, and there was more schematics than it being youthful players.
So are you thinking it's just the luck of the draw on some of this, the bad luck of the draw on
As far as the injuries
go, not
yeah.
strength and conditioning or anything else?
Well, no, I tell you, you look at the other night, even with Jalen's injury, I mean, it's 30 yards down the field. He's cutting it back across the grain, and a tackler goes low, and it caught him from the blind side where he doesn't see it. You know, we have been so healthy up until the month of November, and then it kind of just fell apart on us. And, you know, what I've told our team, even on Sunday, is 2 things we've got to focus on right now is being one in the moment to be able to. We have enough great players on this football team to go win a rivalry game, and we've got to place those guys in position, give them a great plan, and trust them with that plan. The other things is we got to control what we can control. The injuries are there, you know, we totally get that, but we have to be able to still organize a great plan with the personnel that we have to be effective, and that's why they pay us, you know, so we plan on doing that.
Speaking of injuries, can you elaborate? You had mentioned ankle. It looked a lot more like a knee
Yeah.
with Jalen and anyone else that got banged up in that game.
Yeah, it was lower body when we originally came off the field. Medical had said, hey, Coach, it looks ankle, possible knee, but it's more a knee. It's day to day right now. It does not look like it requires surgery, but obviously, Jalen was in some pain in that. So we'll see where it goes throughout the week. It would not looking good right now, but we'll see where it goes. Yeah. Obviously, LJ came off with a foot injury. Obviously, significant pain. I don't see that happening for us this week. Also Deshaun Davis is day to day with a rib contusion. Been a lot of pain. We'll see how that goes this week.
Hey, Coach, I know that we're taking it one day at a time. But what would it mean to win on Saturday and become bowl eligible? What would that mean to your program and in your first year?
Well, most importantly, I think it means a lot to our seniors. There's a lot of men that 1 year ago I visited with that said, hey, go do this with us. Lay a foundation of greatness for us. It's going to be hard, and it's going to be tough, but man, come do it with us. And they did. And so when I look at this senior group, if we were able to accomplish a goal of them going through a season and they beat a Power 5 team, they beat a top 25 team, they got a chance, an opportunity to compete against a rivalry and go out and try to get a victory this week and become postseason eligible. And they've laid a great foundation of culture. These kids, one thing I will tell you about them because of our seniors, these guys play for each other. They compete each and every week, even with the injuries that have had. They've laid an unbelievable foundation. We would love to. I would love to give it to them, but you have to go earn it. That's the nature of the game. And so they're looking forward to try to go earn that opportunity for one more game against a rival opponent.
Coach, this is one of the few situations that you could pretty much say it's a playoff environment because if you do not win, you do not continue playing. What have you drawn on your own experiences playing or coaching to impart to your team about what Saturday is going to be like?
Yeah, the bigger the moment, I've always thought, the more focus you have to have on the little things, and that's play to play, practice to practice, living in the moment, and not thinking about, what does this mean? Obviously, all of us are human. We understand how special the game is. We know what it means for both teams. We're both competing to have the opportunity to play in the bowl season. But when that happens, I think the more you focus on the smaller moments and being in the moment is extremely important and allows you to be the most effective. So, what are we worried about? Tomorrow is having a great practice, and laying that game plan for some guys that are going to get an unbelievable opportunity. If you would have told me El Haj Fall might go out there and play 40 plays in a game earlier this season, I thought you'd be crazy. But man, he's developed and he's put himself in that position. We've got some injuries and he's playing really good football, So we as coaches got to live in that moment and coach our kids as hard as we could possibly can to get them ready for Saturday, and we're asking our kids to do the same thing. This crowd will be amazing. What's on the line is an unbelievable reward. To be able to get there, we've got to glue in on our job and our assignment.
Talk a little bit about the team you're going to play. Appalachian State comes in here. They've got to have a win as well. You mentioned that. But they come in with a couple of things that I would say would probably get your attention, and that's a good defense and a solid run game.
Yeah, anytime you go on the road and you're playing a rival opponent, I think you pack three things, and you mentioned two of them. You pack a great defense, you pack a run game, and you pack great special teams. And this unit that we're getting ready to play has all three. You have seen them literally just put the ball down and run it 40 times and a half, and say, hey, this is our identity, this is what we're going to go do. And this is our fourth defense in this November that is an elite defense in the nation, and filled with a lot of older kids, a lot of veteran kids that have played really good football. They've got a good culture. At App State, Sean's done a tremendous job with these kids in building that culture, and they've put themselves in some big ball games and come out in front of other teams in some big ball games. So, it's something that we know we're going to have to play our best. We're going to have to focus on our job and be more effective than they are. And, but they have all three attributes that you want when you go on the road.
What do you know about the rivalry? How much did people talk to you about this when you were taking the job?
Well, I know how special it is to our players, and even Dylan Springer got in front of our team yesterday and just talked to them, especially the young kids, about how special this rivalry is, what it means to our fan bases, how electric this crowd will be on Saturday night, and I wish I could just say it's another game, but it's not. It's special. It gives me goosebumps right now thinking about it with the first opportunity of being involved in it. I mean, this is why we play the game. This is why you come to Georgia Southern, to be a part of these type of games, and I look forward to that first opportunity, Josh.
A couple of weeks ago against Louisiana, they went for it on fourth down 5 times. App State's gone for it 35 times on fourth down this year. As you're putting a game plan together, how mindful do you need to be of that?
Yeah, definitely. And it usually happens with run-oriented football teams, is they're able to get to those third and 1 to 5s, and we always call it, hey, this is a 4-down situation that you got to play third down like it's second, because they're going for it on fourth. So it is something that you do game plan, and we actually talk about within game in every situation. I'll tell Will, hey, you're in 4-down territory, think about this. And so when that happens, you try to play third down like it's second, and treat it like it's second down. So they have done a great job of putting themselves in third and manageable and fourth and shorts. And obviously with a terrific run game like they have, they've been able to convert.
I know that you've only been here for a year, but senior night has a way of meaning different things to different people, and considering what this group has gone through to build this thing together, how much more does this class mean to you?
Yeah, there's men on here that I remember sitting down with a year ago and just having conversations with about, hey, here's a vision of what we want to get accomplished, and going to need your help to be able to do that, and committed a year of their life. There's men that came here from other places. I think of Kyle Vantrease and Wylan, who you're getting ready to visit with. Wylan came from across the country to have the opportunity to lay a foundation. Kyle Vantrease is 24 years old. He'd go out there in the real world and start making money, but he wanted to come be a pro quarterback and help a team start a process and start building a championship football culture. And he's done that, and so I thank those men. It is special. It is a special night. One, because of the game, but two, just to honor a group of men that sacrificed a lot to put us in this position.
You mentioned, the offense has struggled a little bit the past 2 games, 17 points, 10 points. Yeah, you go into this one, you lose Jalen.
Yeah.
OJ's the only running back you've got right now that's really taken any snaps. Does that limit what you can do? And will we see some different people at running back this week? And, how are you feeling about your offense going in?
Yeah, we have more running backs, and being able, we trust Amari a lot. If that's what it comes down to, where he's the starter. We've also got AJ Brown, we got TD Dixon, we have Tyler Jordan, guys that you even saw Tyler in the game the other night. So we trust those kids. And that's one of the things that we told our staff, that we develop everybody on this football team, all 134 men, because you just don't know when that time's going to come. And you look up and Tyler's in the game the other night. So we try to develop each one of those kids for their opportunity. If Gerald and Jalen can't go, it'll be Amari, and followed by AJ and Tyler and TD, and we'll keep rolling. We trust those kids. They've gotten a ton of reps, and it's just their opportunity now.
Last question, Coach. One of the things that I wanted to ask you about, we talked about senior night. Do you remember your senior night, and what was that like, if you could tell me?
That was a long time ago. Oh my goodness, that's almost 30 years ago. But I tell you, I just remember I do remember it being the last week for you to be able to play with your brothers, and the last week to be playing in front of the home crowd. Eagle Nation has been so special to us this year, and the electricity that they've brought to each and every game has been so special. So I thank them. Ask them one last time for this season, come honor these seniors that may have meant so much to us, and come help us win a really, really special football game and a special rivalry. Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll start our players with fifth-year senior defensive back Wylan Free. Grab the mics and we'll get rolling.
Wylan, you're new here, but I'm sure you know about the App State rivalry. Coach mentioned that Dylan kind of talked to you guys. How did that go? Do you know about it now?
Definitely know it's hate week, so I know a little bit about it. I can tell it definitely means a lot to all of the players here, so this week is definitely not going to be taken any lightly. So we go come in and we go prepare to beat a rival for a chance at postseason.
A lot on the line, obviously, for both teams. You guys win, you're bowl eligible. They win, they are. Your thoughts on that?
I think we just gonna let the preparation, outweigh itself. We come in and we train every day, every week. So I think we just gonna let that decide itself as far as post play. But I think we're in a pretty good situation.
And speaking of preparation, what are some of the steps that you are taking for yourself?
For this upcoming game, just to be a lot more attention to detail. Coming in, watching extra film, trying to pick up any clues I can to see some of the schemes that they're doing, being able to play fast, align quickly and play fast. That's what it comes down to.
Excellent. And then, speaking about, being a fifth-year senior, this could possibly be the last game. I know you might not have thought that far yet. Has your mind ventured there? Talk to us a little bit about that.
I like to say it's not my last game. Like I said, we are competing for a chance at post play. So, but it's definitely hit home a little bit that this could be my last game. But we let that see after this game.
Coach just talked about you coming all the way across the country to play one more year. What have you gotten out of this experience?
I definitely got a lot of this experience to get out of my comfort zone more so. This is my first time really being away from home this far, so this experience has been good for me to come and create new relationships with people on the team, coaches, staff, so just even the community. So I think that's really been my biggest experience.
You've ended up playing really all over the defensive backfield this year, starting out at safety, playing some nickel, playing a lot more in the box to help out and run support. What have you found out about yourself as a player moving around so much?
I felt that, you can just versatility, like I can go play any position. And I thank the coaching staff for trusting me to put me at different positions, knowing that I can handle it. So I feel like that's I learned that I can be more versatile.
Pardon me if you've been asked this already, but what have you learned about Hate Week and App State? And you did ask them that? Okay. So don't have to repeat yourself.
Okay.
As far as the defense goes, you guys did a lot better again point-wise. You still gave up some yards, but it seems like the defense has been a little bit of a bend, don't break. You look, and you guys are ranked 8th in the nation in red zone efficiency, which kind of loans itself to say, we may give up some yardage, but when it gets, in the red zone, we're pretty strong. How are you feeling about where the defense is right now, and talk a little bit about that red zone efficiency?
I feel good about our defense right now. Great, actually. Coach Harris always put together a great game plan every week. So I feel good about our defense. Like you said, we are a bend but don't break. At the end of the day, it's all about putting points on the board. You come down here and you scoring 3 points every drive. Eventually, that's not going to do enough to win you the game. So I feel good about our red zone defense. We really tightened up when it comes down to it.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Chuck with QB1. Questions?
All right, Kyle. Coach said that Dylan kind of had a little talk with the team about how much App State rivalry means in Georgia Southern. What did you get from that, and how much did you already know about that?
Yeah, some of the guys that have played in it a couple times, they got up and they kind of expressed their feelings and emotions about it. And I'm still learning about it, but I know what I've heard. And that was a player-led meeting, so I'm not going to talk about what was said in there. But all I know is that this is why you play football, these rivalry games. And you can feel the energy in the building completely change from any week that we've had this year. And really looking forward to the opportunity to go out there and play them.
Both of you guys are App State. You got to have a win and to get bowl eligible. We know that's been the goal, one of the goals at least from the beginning of the season. You had that chance for 3 weeks in a row. Now if you don't win, it's kind of like the playoffs. If you don't win, your season's over. How are y'all feeling about that?
Yeah, I mean, every game during the year is a must win. Obviously, this one at the end of the year against our rival at home for bowl eligibility is a must win. And we're going to approach the preparation the same way we have all year. The intensity needs to be needs to be higher. The attention to detail needs to be a little better so that we can put ourselves in better positions to be successful. We've had chances the last couple of weeks to get to the postseason, but just like Coach Helton always says, all you need is a chance, and that's all you're ever going to be given. And that's what we have this week, and we're looking forward to it.
Kyle, have you looked at, when you look at the film, are you seeing tendencies that have changed over the season from the beginning and in the wins to the last couple of weeks or the second half against South Alabama? Do you see something in the film that's telling you, like, this is where we need to correct? Is there some specific areas?
It's like just what I say every week. It comes down to execution. Being on the same page with the receivers, the offensive line, the running backs, and the coaches. Because it's a ladder. The coaches we have a game plan that the coaches put together, and they communicate it to us, and then we have to be on the same page with them and each other to be able to be successful. And we got to do the little things right, and that's really what we have failed in doing the last couple of weeks is the little things, because the little things always turn out to be big things. So we need to fix that and get ourselves a better opportunity to put ourselves in a position to be successful.
Hey, Kyle, coming here as a transfer, and you might not have had the chance to get to know the guys on the team for a super long time, but through the ups and the downs of a season, what can you say that you learned about this team in particular?
Yeah, this team is one of the most close-knit teams I've been a part of in my 6 years of college sports. And for the little amount of time and all the adversity of a new staff, a new offense, new defense, new systems, all that stuff, new culture, for the little time that has been put together, it's been super special. Nobody's pointing fingers. We know where we are. We know who we are, and we're going to stay true to that. And it's been a lot of fun to get to know a lot of these guys. They're great people that I'm going to be friends with for the rest of my life. And I don't even know if I'm going to call them friends. They're my brothers, and that's how we have to go out on the field, and that's how we have to play. So it's been a lot of fun.
Your weapons continue to dwindle. Coach mentioned that Jalen's gone and won't be probably able to play on Saturday. That leaves you, if Gerald's out as well, which we haven't been told, that leaves OJ as the only one that's carried the ball. Does that put more of a pressure on you at quarterback to get things done? And with people that you haven't necessarily built the chemistry with throughout the season, when you're practicing, most of the time you're with the ones. You don't necessarily throw to the guys that are on the 2s and 3s as much. Is it make it a little bit more difficult?
Injuries happen in a season, and we're going to go day to day with all of them, and we're going to try our best to get everybody back and healthy. But just like I just said, injuries happen, and it's a next man up mentality. And all it really is an opportunity for other athletes, for other players to get their chance to go and show what they're capable of, and put put film on their resume. And we got a lot of playmakers all around the field, and I'm excited to watch them all go out and play. Some of the young guys have stepped up really well these last couple of weeks for us, and I think they're starting to really come into their role and understand what they have to do and what we have to do as an offense, especially to be able to be successful. No matter what happens, no matter who's out on that field, there's 11 of us and there's 11 of them, and I'm taking the 11 that I'm with every single time.
A couple questions for you, one more on the fun side. Let's start there. With the weather, that you're an Ohio guy, and the weather up in Buffalo, I think, did they postpone that game with Akron?
They did, yeah.
Did you hear about it at all from your contacts back up north?
Yeah, so it's I definitely don't miss the cold. I definitely don't miss the snow. But yeah, I mean, if you turn around, you look outside, you see sunny blue skies. It's kind of nice to be able to jab at them a little bit.
Did you send them a photo of you throwing a dry ball in sunny weather?
I didn't, but I sent them a screenshot of the weather for the next week, and they were just kind of, they didn't really like it too much. So.
Yeah, I think they got the message. And now, less fun, I guess, you guys have been playing some of the top defenses in the country this year, and now you have App State this week. What are areas that you're going to be looking at when you drop back to pass or call a run play? What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, it's been awesome to be able to play the competition that is in this conference. Coach calls it the premier Group of 5 school or Group of 5 conference, and that's totally true. The teams that we've played have been not only coached well, but they have great athletes, and it's been a lot of fun to be able to play that high of a competition. But when you're out there and you have a scheme and you have a game plan, you look for tendencies on film and you try to attack those, and then obviously you have to adjust in games depending on what their game plan is. As the week progresses, we're going to keep looking for little nuggets that we can find in the film and things that we know that we can exploit on their side of the ball, and give us a really good chance, to be successful and win this game.
Last question. Kyle's about a month ago that we talked about rivalries and how Buffalo's kind of the outlier in the MAC, not terribly close to anybody, and you mentioned that there were some pretty intense rivals during your high school days. This could be your last one. It's App State. How much more does it bring up in you to have a rivalry game to potentially close it out or give yourselves one more chance to play a bowl game?
Yeah, like you said, I didn't really get that opportunity in college. Had a good opportunity in high school, a couple different rivalries. But, I grew up an Ohio State fan, so I knew about the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. And so my uncle went there. I've been to a couple of those games, and the atmosphere is completely different than any other game, and that's how it's going to be here. And to be able to finish the regular season and my regular college football regular season out in a game like this, super special. And again, everything rises: the intensity, the attention to detail, the energy, all of it. It all is going to rise, and it's going to be so much fun to be out there and be in that atmosphere and compete with these guys. So,
Thank you, Connor.
Absolutely, thank you guys.